Hi, my name is Cynthia Marchese, and today I'm doing my final project presentation. I found the documentary on Netflix, and the documentary was called Cowspiracy. This documentary educates viewers on how agriculture is the biggest issue when it comes to global warming, and not necessarily transportation, water use, or anything else. Raising livestock creates the most greenhouse emission of any other type of pollution that there is. And other segments that he talked about throughout the documentary was transportation, livestock and its waste, and overfishing and rainforest destruction. The government has made many people believe that they need to help with the reduction of pollution. And so lots of people have changed their behaviors in order to help. And while other people have not, there is a large um, amount of people who are changing their behaviors. For example, taking short showers, shutting off the water while you're brushing your teeth, changing their light bulbs to more energy efficient light bulbs, recycling, driving less, and of course, water management. Um, but the government fails to tell anybody what the real reason is for the pollution and how we might figure out how animal agriculture is being destructive and how to reduce the breeding and the killing and the ranching of all these animals for our main source of food. Here are just a few facts that the documentary points out regarding the effects of livestock. There really is not any type of waste treatment like there is to control human waste for animals. Cow emissions are destructive to the world. At this time, 86 times more destructive than gas cars. Livestock creates the greenhouse emission that is greater, far greater than any other type of pollution out there. Another fact that I learned in this documentary that it takes 660 gallons of water to make one hamburger. And that's through just having to raise the cattle, to feed, to make the feed, grow the feed, water the animals and such. Cows are the leading cause of global warming. Meat consumption is killing the environment. Other issues that affect global warming involve overfishing because we are removing more fish than the fish can produce at one time. Rainforest destruction because of logging, cattle farming, and other mega projects such as gas lines and oil lines or oil rigs. Speaking out about this livestock pollution is causing many issues. Many people will not talk about it. There are many activists that will not speak of it or approach the conversation or even have a conversation, period. Gaps that are caused by this issue are just people are extra sensitive about their diets and they're not willing to change their diet to help with global warming. Individuals who have spoken out have been murdered, and an example of that is Sister Dorothy Stang, who was a nun in South America who was speaking out over her concern regarding cattle ranching and was shortly thereafter murdered. Another reason is the government gives cattle farmer tax breaks to let them graze on governmental land. And even the government is said to be killing wild animals for the farmers who are complaining that wolves and fox and different types of wild animals that are killing their cattle. There's many active lobbyists that are for agriculture, and eco-friendly agencies don't acknowledge the issue. They won't support changes to agricultural issues for environmental purposes, and Greenpeace is a perfect example about this. The person who did the documentary ran into many challenges even with Greenpeace. They would not even speak with him. They would get back to him and tell him that they thank him for his time, but they would not grant him an interview. Even the company, the filmmaker company who was funding his project, got back with him after he was maybe creating a little bit of stir regarding the issue. Dropped the funding on his film because of the controversy. And a big, huge reason that nobody will make any changes regarding this huge environmental issue is because they're scared to make changes in fear that it would hurt fundraising to some of these activist companies, such as Greenpeace and Oceana and many others that were listed throughout the documentary. Rectifying this problem is going to come with huge challenges and might seem nearly impossible. But first, in order to rectify the situation, people need to start acknowledging that the leading issue of greenhouse emission nobody ever speaks about, but it is the livestock emissions that is right now the leading issue with global warming. So I think that needs to be like the number one thing that it's being talked about, instead of pollution from cars and transportation and recycling. It's going to take way more than changing behaviors in order to fix this problem. Organic farming would be one item or one topic that would help rectify the situation. Getting people to stop eating animals. Plant-based foods are really the way to stop the problem. However, we all know that that's probably not going to happen, but even reducing animal consumption would help, because there's just so many livestock out there that it's just out of control. I think there was a statistic that they counted that there was 7 billion humans in 2012, and right now, in 2012 there's 70 billion farm animals in the world. There's not enough land to even plant the grain that they need in order to feed 70 billion farm animals. Vegan diet is really another option, which is plant-based foods, and just really embracing the change. And I think by embracing the change, you're going to put the natural values back into the world. So really, that is my documentary final project, and it was very interesting, and it put a whole new spin on my view. I'm definitely an animal consumer. However, it makes me think twice what it's actually doing to the world, and maybe if we start changing our diets slowly but surely, it will help reduce pollution and global warming across our world and our globe. Thank you.